Since Jorge Federico died, everything has crumbled. And even after several days, I cannot overcome this suffocating oppression. Like being lost in a dark and lonely jungle, I search in vain to conquer this invincible sadness. When was before? Before this disaster struck, during moments of depression, I would spend hours in my painting studio, working on a piece until the desolation faded. But now, time has stopped. The anguish remains, and I feel abandoned in the immeasurable desert of these four walls. These were the words Sabato spoke in reference to the death of his son. The feeling he portrays is not foreign to the rest of us, for there is nothing more human than death and the grief that follows. Doubt floods our heart, and we cannot help but wonder, how do we move forward? And is it okay to do so? There are no simple answers to these questions, as the loss of a loved one, not only physical, but also psychological. When we lose those we love, we also lose a part of ourselves. Death, fickle as it is, does not stop at taking the body. It also threatens to take away the beautiful memories of the departed. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Plutarch, after having lost his daughter, expressed this concern in a letter of consolation to his wife. But, on the contrary, I fear that with our sorrow we may banish her memory. Similarly, Nikos Kazantzakis in Zorba the Greek voices his anguish over the fleeting nature of memory. What a terrible mystery is life! People come together and part like leaves blown by the wind. In vain does the retina try to hold on to an image of the face, the body, the gestures of the beloved. After a few years, you will no longer remember whether their eyes were blue or black. Memory, grief, and identity. These are the themes I would like to explore with you throughout this video. To do so, I want to draw on an artistic medium that beautifully and profoundly encapsulates the process of loss. Gris, a video game that through its art and narrative is able to dive deep into these topics. At the start of Gris, the first thing we witness is a short but beautiful cinematic of a young woman and a statue singing. Their tender duet feels like a soulful embrace. We soon understand that the voice not only defines the relationship, but it is also a crucial part of their identity. Then, disaster strikes, the statue collapses, and the powerful impact sends the young woman plummeting into the void. She is swallowed by the vastness of a watercolor sky of blues, greens, yellows, and reds that gradually fade until only black and white remain. Now, desolation has taken hold, and the young woman's steps are clumsy and heavy, as if forcing herself to rise from what has happened. What has happened? Her mother, embodied in the statue, has passed away. But why is the mother a statue? Think about this often, how memory works, how we reshape those we have lost. We don't remember everything, just pieces, a laugh, a gesture, the way they call our name. And yet, even those details start to slip away. Maybe that's why in Greece, the mother is a statue. We don't remember people as they were. We build them again in our minds, like unfinished sculptures. And sometimes I wonder, do we remember them as they were? Or as we need them to be? Like the statue, the world represents Gris's internal state. Once full of color, it is now a sad canvas painted in black and white. The absence of the mother is also the absence of a significant part of her world. Numb and voiceless, she forces herself to move forward, for life does not wait. However, this is only the beginning of her journey to recover the memory of her mother. Thus begins the process of rediscovery. She wanders through desolate landscapes only to find the hand that once held her. Her support, her refuge, is now shattered. Then, as she remembers, a powerful emotion erupts. An intense red now colors her world. In this way, Gris's adventure and ours continues. This world of reddish tones is the manifestation of anger at the cruel reality that has imposed itself. Anger becomes our shield to face this reality, and with it, we push forward into the unknown. With her voice still absent, Gris fully commits to the grieving process. She walks through reddish, desolate landscapes reminiscent of a desert. And in our path, we encounter metallic structures, an echo of what was once a thriving world. As we contemplate everything that has been lost, we also try to explore and understand ourselves, but the furious winds oppose our progress, engulfing our entire being and clouding our vision. Moments of calm are interrupted by intense emotions. We deny reality as we move forward. As we traverse this world, we encounter statues that manifest memories of the loved one, redefined by the pain of loss. It is difficult to see the world optimistically, and the same question haunts us. How do I move forward? Is it okay to do so? Then, an echo of the past emerges, a small lesson left by our loved one that provides a clue to the path ahead. With this, we can build bridges and overcome obstacles while learning to face the furious winds of pain. After overcoming these difficulties, we return to our safe place, the memory of our loved one, which, though incomplete, still awaits for us. And then, a new emotion takes hold of our soul, painting the world green. Life returns to our inner world. We have overcome the initial shock of losing our loved one and can now interact with the living world again. The pain remains, but our perspective has shifted slightly. As a result, we begin to regain hope for this world without our beloved and push ourselves to forge a new path. Along the way, those close to us offer support, while the echo of our loved one provides guidance and comfort from afar. The good memories and lessons make us better equipped to navigate the pain. Now, we make promises to the future and the past. We feel compelled to improve, to move forward for our well-being. Even with doubts in our heart and under the pressure of our own promises, we force ourselves to continue. But the pain remains, lurking relentlessly. We try to ignore the reality of loss to focus on what remains. We work on ourselves by doing what we love and paying attention to the things that pain made us forget. But as we attempt to leave the past behind, suddenly, when we least suspect it, the memory of our loved one reappears. It reminds us of our loss, and the pain implodes once more. Our world is painted an intense blue. Sadness overwhelms us, and we feel there's no way to escape it. Our heart, now flooded with tears, weighs heavily on our soul. Sadness takes hold, and we try to swim through the stormy sorrow that drowns us. We have a constant knot in the throat that gives no respite. We succumb to our grief while trying to understand what is happening. The question, is it okay to move forward, now seems to have a clear answer. It is not okay to move forward in the absence of our loved one. We shiver in the tempestuous waters of our sadness, and as we drown in it, we see a glimmer of hope. It consoles us and allows us to swim more easily through the sea of sorrow. We explore its depths, those remote places that our anger and promises they don't let us to explore. We explore it deeper and deeper within ourselves. We try our best to understand our own feelings, only to find despair. It tries to hunt down our already fragile hope, but we desperately cling to it and flee, for a world without hope is a meaningless one. We push forward with all our strength, but despair gives no respite. It seems unstoppable and invincible. And then, when we have reached the deepest point of despair, we remember the love of our loved one, the refuge in the abyss of sorrow, a place of solace for our soul. At last, we have recovered the most beautiful part of our loved one. Now, our sadness and grises is beautifully adorned by love. The sorrow remains, but we no longer deny it or drown in it. On the contrary, when we think of our loved one, we accept it, for in it, we can now recognize all the love they left in us. By understanding love and sorrow as one, we embrace our feelings and paint our world yellow. Our journey seems to be nearing its end. Our soul, now filled with shades of different colors, shines with beauty. We have reclaimed part of our identity by recovering the once fragmented memory of our loved one. Our voice, now present, can bring life to our soul. What we have learned so far guides us forward. We can reclaim and recognize the many lessons left by the departed. With hope in hand, we take our steps. We cross stellar bridges and places that now seem like products of fantasy. Our perspective, shaped by our painful emotions, is now driven by the acceptance of what has been lost. We appreciate and contemplate the world, finding solace in it. And when we think everything is going well, we realize there is still one question lingering at the back of our mind. Is it okay to be happy? Our insecure mind wonders. Doubt tempers our momentary happiness, and then we fall again. Our reclaimed world is destroyed once more. This time, it is different, for persistence has brought us this far. We have learned and recognized ourselves. Now, we have our voice and other skills acquired during the process. With a heavy heart, we rise again, but this time we overcome obstacles much more easily than before. We have grown. We wander until we once again face the memory of our loved one. With our voice, we call out to them, pleading them to give us a sign that answers the question haunting us. We try and try, but sorrow returns, flooding us, and when it seems we are drowning again in it, an epiphany happens. We no longer mourn their death. Now we celebrate their life. We are grateful for all the good they brought us. Our emotions, all in harmony, overflow in tears that wash away our sorrow. Now, we truly understand the meaning our loved one had in our life. We say our goodbyes, and at last, they answer to our lingering question. Go, be happy. We ascend, aware that, although the process has ended, the sorrow remains. However, we learn to live with it to honor the life of the one who is now gone.